are back from the parts unknown. The Clem and Claw Show,
All right,
second of all.
gentlemen, this is Clem and Call Show. Second and fourth Mondays, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Live from the parts unknown is your boy Carlos Kaiser, and I have with me Clem. Clem, how goes it, sir?
Yep. Hey, it's been a pretty good. It's not been a bad weekend. The weather and
Uh,
where I'm at right now is weird right now because we have it's kind of weird. It's like it rains a little. It's like right now we're like in a raining period, so it's kind of weird right now with cold temperatures. But it's
yeah.
winter. What do you expect?
Well, let's start with I call it new business, and then we work our way back to old business. But new business.
Let's go.
What's new that's out there that you've seen? I saw Sweet Fights made a post, I guess, about Valentina, and yes, and so that's gonna be coming out.
Yep.
We're looking forward to that.
Yep. He made a post with Valentina and some other ones. Other new business. The CFL, which is going to be Amber. For people who don't know, Amber used to do the Mexican cat fight. So that is going to happen on February 11th versus a young lady named Francina. I don't know if I'm saying her name right, but it's spelled Francia. If you want to get that fight, you have to pre-sale for that fight. I think that fight is like 1999.
Okay. I know Caddy Fights put out a fight yesterday. I was trying to pull up the link here on the phone, but it was not.
You're right, he did. I forgot who it was, but he did put up something. Who else?
Yeah, so he put one up. So good for him getting one out the way for the new year. Um, yeah, so looking forward to new stuff coming out. I know
Oh,
this.
there's more.
Oh, really? Okay, go ahead.
There's more. Cat's Review is now going to put out one also. He's going to put out a fight on February 14th. He's just waiting for people to sponsor that fight.
Okay.
It's I think the woman's name is Miss Nairobi and another person. This is actually a fairly sized fight. Both ladies are like 5'6", about 160. So if this happens, this will be February 14th. So he's just trying to get sponsors going. So we'll see for that.
Okay.
What else we got? I'm trying to see what else is popping. That's it that I can think of. Can't think of anything else.
That's all for the new business. Okay. Well,
That's it for the new business.
that's it for the new business. Okay. Well, old business. I wanted to make mention of from our last show that we had a top eight, and I know this was like one of the few times I think me and you actually disagreed on the list of eight. I
Correct.
yeah. So let me go ahead and pull up. First of all, um, I would like to thank everyone who did vote. Now, full disclosure, I must know this. Did you vote? Yes or no?
Me, I stay out of this. I didn't want to vote anyway. I
Okay.
stayed out of this one.
Okay. I didn't vote either. I didn't vote either. I was
I
just I
stay
was
out of
just
this.
checking because it was like one of those things that I didn't feel like me the vote. It's I know like if it's an election of some sort, you can go and vote for yourself. But for something like this, I
Yeah,
just didn't feel. I truly wanted to hear from the people, and I felt like me trying to vote. I didn't want to taint, especially if it was going to change it one way or the other. I'll go ahead
I
and
agree with you.
share.
I kept myself out of it too. I didn't want to do it either. I agree with you.
I'm gonna go ahead and share the screen. Share the screen. Let's go. Okay. Sharing. Of course, that's us. And here with our poll, because again, like I said, going back to it, I have Reagan, Gia, Shakara, Peyton Little, Rampage, Parasol, Valor, and then his land. Number eight up under this. You had Gia, Reagan, Shakara, Peyton, Paris, Rampage, Valor, and Lynn as well. And the results of the poll is almost 70-30, almost 70-30. We'd like to thank the 13 people who voted, but the fact that
Thank you.
we went with yours, so Clem won. You know, again, this list is fluid. This list is not permanent by any means, but it's fluid. It's always been meant to be fluid. And the thing that I think that gets me is like I said one one thing we found interesting is the reactions to the list. Um, reactions reactions to the list was
Oh my God.
pretty swift. Um, and I like to think again. I think we got more traffic from the reactions than we did from the actual
Yeah, I
themselves.
agree with you. Their comments were not only were they swift, they were critical. So what can
Yeah,
we say?
of
We got
course.
more. He said it.
And,
We got more
and
notice.
some of those I would like to address at the time if I may have before. Um,
Yeah, you have the floor. Go.
so first and foremost, one of the things that I think, and Clem, I think you second me on this. If not, you can interrupt and interject. But I think the fact that the matter is, at the end of the day, we was fans first. Regardless of our statuses in life, whether we end up being a sponsor, being a producer, being a distributor, whatever. The fact of the matter is, at the beginning, we were fans of this first. Um, the fact that nobody's paying us to do this, nor do we have corporate sponsorships or somebody we have to adhere to. So the beautiful thing is we have the freedom, and we have an opinion just like everyone else have an opinion. And the thing that I love most about the list, and especially the reaction that we got from it, it definitely gave credence to the fact. Again, this is just me. I've always believed. You know how I've always asked the question: Is this a sport? Is this a fetish? This to me is exhibit A of why this is a sport. Because if someone doesn't like where they are in the place in our poll, now again, who are we? You can sit there and say, who are we? Eh, let's see, Oh well, okay, I produce some matches and things like that, and I got stuff in the can that'll be coming out any moment now. So the fact that you don't produce anything, okay, well, I guess people don't look at the Gumroad page. That's part of in the chat. Okay. Also, let's see. Never been in a fight in life. I don't know about you, Clem, but last I checked, I was part of helping a couple of people win All American Gold in collegiate wrestling and NCAA wrestling, and then not only that, I am for the 23-24 years certified by USA Wrestling as a video referee. So, matter of fact, I was one of the ones that had to tell Jordan Burroughs, "Hey, dude, you're not going to compete in the World Championships. I get to roll around with these guys.
Mm.
This is one of the things I do outside of this world. So, I mean, again, this is so for folks to say, "Oh, you ain't never been in a fight, dude." I'm an old head at this. I go back. You know, heck, I mean, I go back with the people, the family who created the Granby Roll. If you know any wrestling period, they'll tell you what the Granby Roll is. If you don't know what it is, you can look it up. That's a free one for your own. Um, let's see, what else do we have here? But yeah, but it goes back to a sport because the whole thing is to win, and you want to be the best. Now, the thing is, very few people come into business or in whatever field or pursuit that they plan on being the best off the rep, and especially being the best to ever do it. Very few people do that. But for those that do, it's like, okay, that's great. But not everybody do that. There's a thing called a proving ground. And this list has always been what it's always been, fluid. Has always been fluid. We're just stating coming into 2024, these are who we feel are the grade eight. Now, the thing is, it's the grade eight. Hence the word great. The fact that you're on the list isn't enough to be commended. Now we want to get into Spanish. You mad at where you at on the list and how you feel right. All right, okay, fine. But this is where the competitor in you is. Oh, okay, well you can go and kick butt in the next matches and whatever, and then especially if you beat people that we have ranked in front of this. You know what happens? You move up. Matter of fact, Clem, correct me if I'm wrong. When we first had some people on the list, um, I remember I'll just use Paris for example. I remember when she was honorable mention the first year we put her on there.
You're
So you
correct.
go
She
from
was
honorable mention, which was like ninth to 10th, go from honorable
correct.
mention or 11th, I think maybe, and then now you're five. That's not a
Exactly.
bad jump because
Exactly.
from the get go when we did this, Reagan has always been on the list. From the get go when we did this, Gia has always been on the list. You see what I'm saying? So who are you going to
Yep.
bump off? Who are you
Exactly.
going to bump off? Okay, sexy wife retired. Lyric retired. Okay, they'll open up some slots. People can
Correct.
move up. The slots open for the taking. Um, Paris has made the most of it. You have others that may. Landon's jumped in the game. Peyton is making the name
Yeah,
for itself. Valor is always so. Again, this is fluid. But if it wasn't a sport, then people wouldn't care. They'd just be happy they're on the list. You know.
exactly.
So, but however, I would like to add some other points to it, since obviously, I guess what's always funny is when people repeat what we've said already, and we have written and record. So again, if I may share my screen, um, I would like to share. All right, let's start with. I'll share the screen again. Yes, I want 1080. Yes, I understand. Let us proceed. All right, so I'll just start with this. So, and we'll go. Let's go on slideshow view.
Hmm.
So for slideshow number one, we have Catfight of the Year. Last I checked, I think I had picked Paris, you had picked G.
Correct. That's correct.
And then now for those, this was on our Christmas Day episode, so we
Yep.
understand why the traffic, because we know the numbers. Because it's Christmas, people was around, so they may have not been cognizant. This is who we both picked. You have G, of course, as your number one. Be Catfight of the Year. For me, Paris, I looked at. I thought she made the biggest gains. So we just doing a small recap of what we've
Exactly.
already said. So if you want further in-depth analysis, how we truly felt, you feel free to watch the Christmas Day episode. It's the gift that keeps giving.
Exactly.
Category two, match of the year.
Exactly.
Um, you had selected Valor versus Gia Love. I selected Peyton versus Lynn. And again, we won't go into the reasons. If you want to know the reasons why we picked, you
Watch the
feel
show.
more than welcome to watch the show. I know there was another one. That came up with the Vika and Paris fight. As far as that could have been the best fight, to me, all three of them was really close. All three
Mm,
of them was really close. But again, like I said, we have our reasons and we explain those clearly on the show. Category three, producer of the year. Clem, you went with Reagan. I went with Lady O.
hmm.
And again, watch the episode and you can see why. This is not like something we recreated and then timestamp and went back in the future, back in the back to the future to go back to the past. Go ahead and recreate that. It's already there. It's been there for almost a month. There's 3 days short of a month now.
Correct.
For the last 28 days, 27, 28 days, depending on
Yep.
when you're viewing this podcast. And then category four, which we have as sponsor of the year, we both went with New Swag, which New Swag has always been a
Yep.
friend and supporter of the show. Now, I know for you, this is one thing I do want to ask. What again? Like I said, the people have spoken. Almost over 2 to 3 odds. They like your list better. What went into how you ranked them 1 through 8?
Okay. So for me, like you said, the most important thing is how much improvement did you make from like your first fight to your second fight. Uh, and people need to understand most of these people that we have right here are people that actually fought this past year. There was a lot of people who did not uh do. So I also take into credence that.
You know what? That's a good point that you brought that up, Clem, because if some people really wanted to be, is well, what about the Lord Cross? What about so? Again, like we said, Christmas, we only went with those who did a cat fight, a sponsored cat fight in that calendar year. So that's what we went with. Um, so yeah, but that's how you did yours. See, for me, what I did mine is I look at my 8 of how would I do it if it was a tournament style. And that's how I pretty much base
Mm,
my seasons off of, which leads to our next screen. If we had did it truly tournament style, and the way I have mine set, It's
I actually
cutting
agree with what
off.
you said.
It's cutting
I
off
actually agree with you.
it's cutting off the bottom that I have here. And again, this is for fantasy purposes only.
I
But
agree. I
as
agree with you.
always,
I agree with this
it is cutting
particular
off
document. I like it. Carry on.
my number seven. But my the number seven Valor. But
We know who it
this
is.
is how I would have it set. Again, Reagan and Lynn was to fight again. Who knows what the turnout would be, but I think it would be Lynn would definitely have improved. Peyton and
Yep.
Little Rampage. I
We
think
don't
that
know.
would be a hell of a fight. Definitely would be a lot of energy. Because if you
Fact.
sit there and look at mine in this construct, then it's like, you know what? That's not bad. I would think Shakar and Paris.
We talked about this already.
Right. Truly, I believe right there. That fight could be like literally the fight for who is the best in the world right now.
Agree. Agree.
I'm just
Agree.
saying that could be, which is why I put it at six and not five because I want her to fight Shakar, and then of course 2 and 7, Gia Love and Valor, which they've already
Part
had
three.
two great matches. This will finish out the trilogy, you know, whoosh. So that's my mind state when I do my eight. Again, I know my eight doesn't go like everybody else's, but I want folks to understand because it's been a while since I've explained the rationale what goes into my eight. The way I look at my eight is if we was in a tournament, one seat just like anything else, we got high school basketball, and high school women's basketball coming up next month in March. You got
Yep.
collegiate men's basketball, women's basketball coming up.
And the
NCAA
NBA
tournament
playoff.
is in
Yep.
end of March going into April. Then you
You
the NBA is in
it's
June. You know,
April.
the playoffs started April but go through
Yeah.
June.
June.
So everything 1 through 8. So when I see C's and rankings like that, I look at it. If you tell me this person number one, this person number eight, then if those two was the matchup. Boom, there you go. 2 and 7, boom. 3 and 6, boom. 4 and 5.
Hmm.
That's how I've always looked at it. I don't look at it empirically like, okay, if I'm number five, then that means then that's you know 4, 3, 2, 1. There's four people better than me. No, I'm looking at you would fight number four, and then if you beat them, then you get a shot at the big dog early.
Exactly.
That's
I
how I've
like
always
that. You
that's
know
how
what?
I've
That's
always
actually a good
looked
point.
at it.
That I need to think
That's
about that like that. I like it that
that
way. I
yeah.
see your point of view. I see your point of view. And like we always
So
say, cat fights are all different people.
yeah,
Just because you have more experience than the other person does not mean anything. It's whoever is better on that particular day.
on
Period.
that day,
End of. So
on that day, you got to be ready on that day, on that day. So yeah, so that's pretty much how I feel about it. You know, it just like I said, don't want to get all in my feelings. You know, like I said, we leave that to the women and the kids. You know, as my boy Gilly would say, as my boy Gilly would say, eh, we leave the feelings to the women and kids. So
yeah, we ain't got too much more to say. We said what we had to say. Let me get on this media cloud thing. To piggyback on what you said,
with the
no, we're
cloud,
not
go
doing this
ahead.
for cloud. We're not getting paid by YouTube. We're not getting paid by Twitter or Instagram or Facebook. We are fans of the sport. Like the man said, quote, this is a sport and a fetish. It can be both. It
It can
depending
be
on who
both.
you talk to. So yes, and in our definition of a sport, and everybody knows the definition of a sport is you want to be the best. It doesn't matter who's in your way. The goal, I know, I mean, of course, the participation part and all that stuff, fellowship is nice. But in any sport, your goal is to be the best. You want to be the champion. You don't want to be second best. You don't want to be third best. You don't want to be fourth. You want to be the top. So I understand everybody's frustration and numbers, but like the man said, if you look at it a tournament thing, that's how it's gonna be. And the fetish part, we can understand it's kind of like in a release thing, blah blah blah. I don't have to go too forward into it. You get the point. So my thing is, we're not getting paid, people. We're not getting paid at all. We're not ESPN. We're not Fox. We're not ABC. We're not NBC. All those guys are paying their people to
But
podcast and give opinions.
what we are is people who care.
Exactly. But at the same time, thank you
You-
though, right? But thank you though.
Yeah,
We
thank you. Yeah,
appreciate
yeah.
it.
They go on this conversation, and go on this traffic. Um, One thing I will say, go back into being the best in the part of sports, and this is where you can throw NFL stuff ish in here. I don't know how deep you want to go with. It's like for example, even with Brock Purdy, you have this thing of people that believe that he can be the best. Well, he can't be the best because he can't beat Josh Allen. You can't beat, Patrick Mahomes. He's not going to be able to beat, Lamar Jackson. He's the fourth best super quarterback. Okay, well,
So
we're going off of whether you want to use stats, you want to use analytics. But the man has been 3-1, and he's been in the NFC. Sorry, excuse me, NFC title game 2 years in a row.
2 years in a row.
First 2 years out the gate, we led the team there. Let's hope this game he gets to finish it.
Correct. Correct.
Unlike the last time. So it's the thing of you have that proving ground because even when Tom Brady first started, Tom Brady might have always had the drive. He'll tell you, I've had the drive, I had the chip on my shoulder since the day I set foot in the Patriots. But to the point where people was referring to him as the greatest of all time, took time. Even if he believed that he had it in himself, it took a while. And the one thing that I will say about social media and all this, it doesn't give prudence to the fact of growth or to be able to. You have some people that fuel on the, oh man, they ain't believe in me in the beginning. No, F them and all the haters and all that. You can only live off of that so long, boo. And then it's like, then who else you going? Then you get to the top of the mountain. Who else you going to hate on? Well, they didn't like me from the. Okay, well, at the end of the day, once we have new information, we have a right to change, and that's part of being human beings and being able to. Just like you change physically from being 2 years old to 20 years old to 100 years old, you have physiological changes, you have mental changes, you have emotional changes, you have all that. So, and life is full of changes. It's just how do we adapt and how do we react to it. So that
Exactly.
being said, with new information, boom, we can make new decisions. You know,
Exactly.
and it's hard to put everything in a vacuum off the rip. Your career is not even done yet, and then folks go, "Wow, this will be the greatest." Well, will that time tell if you end up being one of the greatest? That's with any sport. That's with football with this Brock Purdy guy. We don't know. Yeah, you played in the same organization that Joe Montana played for. Joe Montana was
Mhm.
4-0 in Super Bowl. And people always want to hold
Yep.
that against him over Brady. It's like, look, dude, but at the end of the day, Brady, the consistency of keeping doing it is what
Yep.
ended up eventually making them to go to where people have to say, you know what? And whether you even like them or not, you have to respect this game. It's like, and the passion and the hard work and the stuff they put in that,
There's the key word.
so,
You just said it. The key word: hard work and dedication. Right? You got to put
right.
in the hard work and dedication to be great, people.
Yeah.
Just
So,
because the man is the greatest winner because he put the hard work and dedication. And it was not only him. People need to understand. Football is a team sport. It's not only one individual. That's the problem with my Dallas Cowboys fandom. They keep putting in, oh, that press off. No, it's the whole team. The whole team did not show up. When the
Devin,
whole team
Devin
don't show up in the playoffs,
James is the
everyone's
same
blaming
way.
him because he has a star on his helmet. He's the Dallas Cowboys. He's up to the standard of Troy Aikman. He's up to the standard of Roger Staubach. Tony Romo, all this stuff. No, the game is built on everybody else doing their part. If everybody doing their part and he does his part, you win.
I
And if you're
think
you win the big one.
the thing I will say about with the fight game is it's a lot of mano and mano in this case, womano or womano. I don't know. That
Yeah,
don't even sound right. Woman
woman.
versus woman. And just so you have this whole thing of on that day, can you go? And it's like and it pretty much rests alone on you. There's unless you're in the tag match or something, there's nobody to tag in. It's just you.
That's you.
So I think usually for sports like that or like a golf or well, golf is always kind of weird because you're competing
Offense weird.
against
The
the
course.
course more so than you're competing against other folks. I mean, you are trying to beat other folks, but inherently you're competing against the course because the course is eating up all of y'all. And
I think the sport you was looking for was tennis. Tennis is the one on
tennis
one.
is more yes.
That's
Tennis,
the one
I
you were
would
looking
say
for.
tennis is yes is a better example because golf it's kind of like
You're
you're
aggressive
really
course.
against the course.
Yeah,
Yeah, other people's playing on it, but
true.
you just wanna. But yeah,
Tennis is needed.
but tennis is most better because it's me, you, we got the net, got the balls,
That's it.
pickleball, table tennis, all of it.
All of
So
it. And boxing. Boxing is another sport that's one
which
on one.
goes back to the fight game, which or boxing, cat fight, MMA, whatever.
The only
Wrestling.
difference between boxing is you have a corner person, but other than that, it's just
But they're
you
not
and the
gonna fight
opponent.
for you though.
No, no, no.
They can advise you what to do in
But
between
that's it.
rounds and stuff. But they ain't gonna get in there and fight for you. The only thing they can do, the only thing they legitly can do, is if they see that you're just too far in and you don't have the mental capability to know that you're done, they can throw in the towel.
That's it.
They can throw in the towel.
That's it.
So, but but yeah, man. So it was a good show, good show. Like I said, a good conversation to be had.
Yep.
Again, for everyone, we got the previous episodes. You want to see how we? That's how we actually going through who our cat fighters of the year and match of the year and all this sponsor of the year and producer of the year is what helped shape us
Into
going
this
into
list.
what was on the list of eight.
And by
So
the way, people, we've been doing this for 3 years. It's not like it's the first time, people.
I
We've done
know,
this for a
God knows,
while.
God
We do
knows.
this every at the end of the year. We do this every
Dude,
year.
yeah,
The
we've
list
done it
is
every year.
fluid. Again, people, the list is fluid. If you got a
Let's
problem with
just
it,
do it.
improve. Do what you got to do. You go up.
And,
So
and I think the thing that gets me most about the list, other than the fact that it's a list,
it's
people.
a list. Why are we
Yeah,
getting
I
mad
mean,
on the
we love,
list?
but we love lists. That's our society. We love
True.
lists.
This is
We
true.
live in a society that loves lists. We want to have da 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 da. We love lists.
Correct.
Now, I will say this: in the 3 years going into four, this would be going into year four. We would be doing
Correct.
it. I don't think we've had the same eight people. What I'm more interested to see is what the list looked like at the end of the year because we have not had a year where we had the same eight people who
No,
started on the list end on the list,
you're
whether
right.
they're
We
in the
haven't.
different orders or whatever.
It don't
We
matter. We
never
have not.
because somebody always comes new. Somebody comes from out the dark we never seen before.
True.
Take it by storm.
True.
um, we'll have somebody who might not fought at all last year come back. You know, they'll come back, and then you may have some people like that may be out for injury. So Virginia, we'll be praying for you. With the eye surgery and all that,
Yep.
and somebody who's been dealing with eye stuff myself, I
Yep.
understand that isn't it's not um ideal, but you know, many
Yeah. Low
prayers and
rampage.
blessings and
Congratulations.
healing.
Congratulations, Sue.
Yes, she made the announcement. The
Yeah, we
fact
didn't
that
even
she's
say
pregnant.
anything. She just
Hey,
did it.
praise the Lord. Children
Congratulations.
are definitely special. Children are a gift from God.
Hmm.
They are. So, um, like I said, so which means that pretty much kind of takes her out from the cat fighting thing. For I mean, I'm sure there's other content and stuff, and
Sure.
she'll be doing. And
Yes,
I
yes.
know she's going to produce some fight. She made mention of that. She wants to produce some stuff.
Yep.
So that's good that she'll still be involved. It's
She'll
just
be
that
involved.
she
Just
just
can't
won't
compete.
be. Yeah, respectfully, knock on wood, she won't
Yeah,
be
yeah.
on the list for
Yeah.
probably at the
But
end of the year
still.
because she wouldn't
Yeah,
have
but
been
as
able
we
to
said
put out a
again,
fight.
but as we said again, the list is fluid. Just
The
because you're
list
off
is
the
fluid.
list this year don't mean nothing. If you come back and you come back strong next year, guess what? You're back on
Like
there.
Sarah comes out with something, Sarah might jump right back up to the top. Who knows?
Exactly.
So
Right
it's
now, we just got her off the list. But like you said, if she fights someone, boom, like you said, right back on the list.
mm. So and then of course you got the retired greats, the goats
Of
of
course.
we need to come up with the place for. You know how you have Olympus and Valhalla and whatever. We,
Yeah.
uh, we what
Yeah.
what's the name of the place in the Amazons? What's the name of that's a record. What is it called?
Oh, I know what you're talking
You know what
about.
I'm saying? Where
Yeah.
Diana, where Wonder Woman is from.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
What is
No,
that
not that
called?
Amazon river.
That's
Not
a
that Amazon
that's a
river.
something. Anyway, we need to come up with something to
Yeah.
where that's where they go. That would be like your Gen D's and
Genty,
people like that. Oh yeah,
Marquez,
no, they
Dragon
there.
Lee. Now we
They
there.
they always legacy. They legacy. They
A legacy. We don't mess with that.
matter of fact, it's like if they ever was to come and do something, it's like look, you legacy, you wouldn't. We don't even rank you. You just legacy. You legacy
There's no
like
need to rank. You're a
yeah,
legacy.
you legacy. You just always there. You know. And like we said before, it don't take much to be an all time legend at this.
No, there's
You
not.
do a good 6 fights, half dozen,
That's all we
and let's
ask.
say say you win at least 4.
3? Yeah.
No, can't be 3.
4. 4.
I'm gonna say at least 4. You got to win at least 4. You got to win more than you lose.
Okay, gotcha.
you know, you have some people that be like, oh look, they're all time great because they was able to compete and show up and compete. Which there is something to say that I will say for this fetish, there is something to say for that
I
because
go
of the injury risk, because of life changes, because of how much the physical toll it takes on your body. So there
definitely,
is something to that
definitely.
of being able to show up and answer the bell. There's something inherently in that. There's a greatness in that.
Mm.
But at the end of the day, you want to win. That's what it is. So you win more than you lose, and you showing up and answering the bell. Because now, if we wanted to get into that, as far as like looking at who on the list, that's a whole nother discussion. That we
Oh,
think that's on that level. I don't want to have that today. We already given the people enough today. We can say that for another episode. But
dude. Yeah, for
because
people who don't know the cat fight
because
list, like you said, the cat fight list is like what
because
cat fight average
there's a
what
couple of
a year in
people
the cat
on
fight.
this list that we have now of the eight to where they're at a point where it's like we can literally start asking the questions. Should they go legacy at this point? Because
Mm.
it's like they've done their six, so or you see what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
it's getting to the point where because you got to have a number that separates the good from the great.
I agree with
So
you. I think six is
um,
right.
I
Six
think
about six
six is
fights is
good
right.
for now. Who knows? As years go on, that number may move from six to eight. But
That's
even
right.
if it moves from six to eight, those who already on legacies get to stay on legacy. They don't get discredited because well, they only fought sixes. This one fought eight. Nah.
It don't matter. You
It's
said
just
it.
like the NFL. How you had the 14 game season, the 16 game season. Now we on the 17 game season.
Team.
You know.
I agree with you. I agree with you on your point where you say if you're definitely gonna be a legacy person, you gotta win more than you lose. I agree with you on that. That part is known. So yeah, we're about to wrap up this show, people. We're giving you enough
Yeah.
credence. Everybody knows already.
Yes. The credits.
With that being said,
Let's see. I am at Closeweb on X and IG.
Clem underscore AK UFO IG and Clem Okufo on X. And the next show is February when?
It is.
I know January 29th is the end of the month.
Let's
I want to say February 12th. That's a guess.
I believe you are right.
That's a
Let me make
guess.
sure I'm trying to find it.
That's a guess. I'm like,
Oh, and this year we have leap year, so
bingo. Yes, sir.
I don't think we've ever had um
A leap year?
I don't think we've ever had a show
A leap year. We have
on the
not.
29th. There's no
We
way
have
we
not.
could have it.
We have not, man. Because remember, leap year is every 4 years, and this is the fourth year of the show. So this
Right,
will be the
but
first.
but the thing about it though is because the 29th is 1 8 22 no 15 22. Yeah. We could never have it on the 29th. So
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
we could never have it on the 29th. So but yeah, the next episode, yep, February 12th.
For people who don't know, February 12th is 2 days before Valentine's Day.
So yes, gentlemen, if you have not, or ladies, or whoever, if you have not for your significant other, hey, that's a
Reminder,
sprint.
people.
That's a sprint. There was a thing I think Hallmark or something. Hallmark had put out, or Complex put out the stat saying that Hallmark.com was saying how like for men, like supposedly like 70% of men, like 70 to 80% of men don't do any Valentine's Day shopping or anything like that until literally 24 hours before. I've
Whoa.
heard that to be. I'm like, that's a pretty high
Whoa.
number, but
What is that? I'm not going to lie to you. Whoa.
I think Hallmark would know because people go on Hallmark and so hey, let me order
Yeah,
something, rush, put it, whatever. Um, so I'm like, look how high
interesting.
number. I know between today's show and the next show, yours truly will be celebrating another birthday. So another trip around the sun.
Early happy birthday, man.
Yes.
Oh yeah, by the way, we forgot one person. Happy birthday to
Reagan.
Reagan. Happy
Yes.
belated happy birthday to
Happy
Reagan.
belated birthday to Reagan.
3 days
Friend of the
ago,
show.
people.
Yeah,
Friend of
so
the show.
yeah, friend of the
Definitely
show.
friend of the show.
Her and my mother
Happy
have the
birthday to your
same.
belated birthday to your mom too. It's kind of a big deal
Yeah,
for you. It is.
yeah. So her and my mom have the
We
same.
have anything else we have to add before we get the heck out of this place?
I was just checking to see if we had anybody jump in or whatever. Yeah. So like I said, looking forward to the next show
Oh, I got one
and
more thing to say.
oh, you
And when
do?
people keep talking about someone brought up guests, we don't actually chase guests, man. We ask people in advance by far. I just want to get that clear. I want to make that clear before someone asks us all that stuff. Just saying.
I mean, yeah. Well, people ask, and I don't. The thing that I like is I like the fact that people ask us to see if we can bring people on the show,
Yeah,
which means that they care. They care. And they want to
exactly.
see it. So, and because sometimes with usually by the time people have asked us, we have pretty much already more often than I can only remember one time in these 4 years or 3 years where someone asked us if we could bring somebody on that we didn't already have reached out to. Either me or you had already individually reached out to.
Yeah, yeah,
But usually, but the most part, but the fact of them asking tells you that hey, they want to hear what these people have to say, and it adds credence to the show, really, because the fact
yeah.
that somebody you get to hear point of view, and then that's where we get a comment on somebody with DM and say, hey, well, what does this fighter think about X, Y, Z? Yeah, so
Yes, people. Like you said, if you guys want to ask us stuff, that's fine. But be aware that our things our opinions are going to be different from yours, and yours is. And I'm just saying, I'm not talking about here. I'm talking about off other stuff, not this platform.
oh, okay. I'm about to say,
I'm not talking about this platform. I'm talking about the X platforms and all this stuff. Because sometimes I get fans ask me, "What do you think about this?" and all that stuff, and I give you my opinion. It's not going to be different. It's going to be different from yours. So don't be offended. Just saying. I talk
okay,
about fans,
yeah.
not fighters. I talk about
Yeah, I mean, and then speaking of offense, brings up one other point that kind of almost slipped my mind, and for most, and especially to any of the producers or fighters out there, you're more than welcome to come on the show. If there's something that we said or something that we did that you didn't agree with, you're more than
please,
welcome. And especially if
please.
it's something we were wrong about, and
You
you
better
wanted to
come.
address it or you asked for an apology, you wanted, especially you wrote it down or you put it in text if we did it on air, I'm really don't like to do it. I'm a big match to energy guy. So if I said it on the show, then I want to apologize on the show, and I'd rather apologize to you seeing your face on the show and you
I
being able to do
agree.
it.
I agree
Not
with you.
because if you feel the need enough to let me know that hey, and I realize you know what, I might have been wrong about that. Fine, let's have a discussion. Let's talk about it. Why? We're grown
Exactly.
people. If
Exactly.
not, if you didn't want it to be public, then you could just call me. I mean, you got my number, so most everybody got my number. If you can't find it, you can get it over to Clem.
Exactly. And
It's
if you
not hard.
can't,
It's not
right?
hard.
It's not
I,
hard.
and in the
But
words of Coach Prime, I ain't hard to find.
exactly. With that being said, we're wrapping now. We done enough. We're wrapping
Yes.
here. So until February 12th,
Mm-hmm.
2024, 2 days before Valentine's Day, is your next Clem and Claw show. By that time, we'll probably have we have quite a few cat fights come out. Some people might be releasing quite a few stuff. I don't it don't matter if it's in the can or recent.
Right.
That might happen. But stay tuned, people. Again, I want to thank everyone for viewing this show. Again, I know it was late. It was my fault this time. So I'm gonna just go ahead and put that there. So with that being said, make sure you watch this thing when it gets cut up and all that good stuff, especially for the overseas viewers. I'm going to be concentrating more on the overseas viewers because they're the ones that get to see the stuff like late.
And we thank them for the support. We always thank them for the
Yeah,
support. It's always
people
good to wake up the next morning and then realize ding, 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 ding. You get things of people that watch
notifications.
from overseas. Yes.
People need to understand it always gives up. You always have to give credit to overseas people. These are people who are 4 or 5 hours ahead of us, and they're in bed right about now. While we're doing
Right.
this, they're
Listen.
gone. They literally gone. So when they wake up, it's like 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning, their time, which is like for calls will be like 3 o'clock in the morning. For me, it'll be like 2.
And then listen either on the way to work or while they're having breakfast, Not bad,
So
not bad
respect,
way to start the morning.
respect to the viewers. And I'm gonna have and one more thing I'm gonna say for the fans. If you want to see more cat fights, quality cat fights, support your producers. Don't tear them down because you think this person or this person or this person. If you want to see your favorite cat fighter do it, order a custom. Pay more to see a custom. How hard is it? Pay more to see a custom. That's it. They're doing the best they can, man. These are minor miracles, people. Minor miracles.
And remember, everyone has lives. So if the producers
Exactly.
doesn't get back to you in a timely fashion,
They have a
or
life.
or what have you,
And
you know.
oh yeah, that's another thing.
And the fighters have lives too.
And please
Fighters
stop
have
bombarding
lives
the
too.
fighters. If the fighters have answered your, for example, if you DM one of the fighters and they already answer your question, stop asking them when this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. They have to confirm it. They have to confirm it. The producers and the fighters have to talk. They have to confirm. This is why they don't say stuff on
It
social
takes
media. That's why you
a
have to be
lot.
patient. And when you're patient, you ask them eventually at some point. When they're ready, they'll say it. If it's not happening, it's not happening.
But
Everybody
there's
got life.
levels to this.
Here. That's it.
There's levels to this because the difference between whether they're doing a solo custom or a custom with someone or a custom or a fight custom, and then it's like, all right, well, that person back out. Now what do you do? It's like, so you have to deal with either we refund the money or trying to find someone else. Then you have to find someone else to pay the switch. But I will say this: most fans get it. They get it. They
Yeah.
get it. They'll be like, oh, okay, well, something changed. Life
True.
stuff happens. But you always have the village few. Yeah.
And the reason why we're bringing this up because one of the so-called fighters had a thing on Twitter. I don't have to say too much. One of them went off. Let's leave it at that. I read it. I didn't say too much on it. I didn't comment at
I
all.
don't know who you're talking about. So
You know what I'm talking about. She's not on
no,
the
I
show.
don't know. I
Kind of
don't.
canceled. She kind of
Either you're a
recanceled.
fighter or you're not a fighter. There's no such thing as a so-called fighter. You're a fighter or you retire.
But anyways, people. Oh yeah, I forgot one more thing. The LFC thing. Did I bring that up already?
The who?
Lingerie Fighting Championships. Did I bring that up already?
I don't think so.
So
Dude, you like a
basically,
bad deacon. We was supposed to be out of church 10 minutes ago, but keep
I
going.
know I'm a bad deacon. I need to finish this up. I should have brought this up in the beginning, but I was too
Yes.
focused on it. But anyways,
Notes, write it
never
down.
mind. Never mind.
Go ahead. No,
I'll
go
let
ahead. We the LFC. This is the last thing. Come on, let's
Okay,
go.
the LFC. So basically, for people who don't know, the LFC is coming back again. They're gonna be in Vegas. I think is it February or January? At the end of January or February, they're gonna be in Vegas for LFC 38.
Mhm.
So for people who like all that stuff, and then LFC 39 is going to be in Florida. It's going to be in Florida. So people like Queen GL Love, people like Paris Love, those two will be there. So if you like that stuff, there you go. All right,
Okay.
now I'm done. For my now it's completely done. I know I'm a
Yeah,
bad
let me
deacon.
go
I
ahead
got you.
before you come. Oh, I'm and another thing. And another thing. And another
Yeah,
thing.
I got you. I got
We'll,
you.
we'll,
For
we'll
my
try to adhere to our fans. We'll try to adhere to the run of
no.
show a
My
lot
bad.
more
I need to educate
smoothly
you. But
next episode.
that's not my fault. Anyways, for my guy Claus, well, for myself, Clem and Kupo, until next time, everyone, we are out. Have a good
Bye.
night, everyone. Peace.